My name is Josh Canes. Um, Today, going to be doing a quick tutorial on how to create a virtual machine in Microsoft Azure, working with the cloud. And if you're new to IT like I am and we're learning, stick around. Um, I'm, I'm currently taking the IT course with Josh Matacore as the instructor. Amazing course. Shout out to Josh. And let's get right into it. So let's open up a browser. All right, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the portal. It already has it pre-saved there for me. Go ahead and log in. If you obviously don't have an account, you want to make sure you create one. Get that $200 free credit. Hopefully they're still offering it. And it's a 30-day limit on that. A lot of people forget that sometimes. So if you do have that $200 free credit that Microsoft is offering, make sure you use as much of that up as you can in those 30 days as one of those use it or lose it type situations. So before anything, we'll make sure we create a resource group if we haven't already created one. I already have one in here saved, but we can go ahead and delete that really quick if you like. And that way, actually go ahead and click there and show you real quick how to create a resource group as well. So go ahead and delete that. Just go ahead and highlight that really quick. Put it in there, delete. Take a little bit just to go ahead and delete that. But obviously, it's going to be the resource group lab 2. So what we're doing, you can obviously name it whatever you like, because you'll be running your own situation. But there it goes. Resource group has been officially deleted. You see it here. So let's jump in so we can go ahead and create one. Alright, so here's the Azure subscription one that I have. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and make sure to create that group. Like I said, you can call it whatever you like. So I'm going to go ahead and name the same thing. There we go. Alright, and you'll probably get some alerts if you try to type in something there that Microsoft Azure doesn't like. It definitely will scream at you in red, and it will let you know. You can also select your region. I'm in the east, so I'm gonna keep it defaulted towards the east. You might be in the west or somewhere else in the world. Select that. I'm coming from the corporate world, where there's a lot of people touching a lot of different files. Also, some people may not want to put anything here. It's of course optional, but since I'm coming from a place where a lot of people touch a lot of different files and you kind of want to know who created what, so that way you can be easy to track down later on. I'll just put creator there, Josh C, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the next step. All right. So validation pass. So we're gonna create a resource group. Take a few moments. This resource group is created, so you can go to the resource group. You can hit refresh. You can go a lot of different routes. So let's go that way. Click the button. Ta-da! We are in here. All right. So from here you can search it. You can click back home. But we're gonna do virtual machines. So you can click that. You can see one things I've been working on before. So virtual machines, or just as a quick little thing, if you didn't notice the first time around, it's right there if you click homes. Either way, it takes you right back to the same location. Alright, so let's get to creating a virtual machine. Get excited, guys. Alright, so it's loading. Also, if you didn't know, from the red, I'm a huge Bucks fan. Go Bucks. Also in the background previously. If you see it there, check it out. Yep. That's an amazing situation there. Alright, that's for those who don't remember, or maybe you don't care. It's when the Bucks beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But anywho, back to the situation at hand. Alright, so we'll go ahead and select the resource group you want this virtual machine to go inside of. We're gonna select the only one we created. So that's RGLab02. And let's name this virtual machine. I'm gonna keep it real simple. This virtual machine, I'm gonna call it VM01. Alright, and then select your region. We're gonna actually create 2 virtual machines for this lab. And we're gonna end up having them talk to each other, use remote desktop later on, but this is just the first step here. So we're going to go ahead and select that. Make sure later on you keep the same region. I'm going to switch this and make it a Windows. There we go. Alright, so it's changing a few things up for us. And here on the size, it's up to you what you guys want to select. For me, it defaults to this 2 virtual CPUs, 2 cores, 8 gigs, which I feel like it should be pretty good for Windows. If you want a bigger battery computer, you feel free. You can go to our 16 gigs or the 4 cores. And obviously, you see the price does change here, so keep that in mind, folks. I have $200 to play with in reference to the Microsoft Azure, so I may want to, use the bigger battery one if I wanted to, but I want to be a little bit more frugal, play a little bit more safe, so I'll just go with the default setting, but that is up to you, and that is your prerogative. Alright, so username. You, at this point, of course, you use your creativity, you call it whatever you want. I'm going to go JBDC, that's Josh Big Daddy Canes. And then for your password, of course, you guys select the password you want. It's going to let you know how long and how many characters you need, any special characters, things like that. For this one, you're going to need at least 12. I think it has about a capital letter, has to have a special character, all that good stuff. Alright, so there we go, confirm passwords match. And also keep in mind, I know a lot of people usually think that they can always remember passwords. I have a personal friend that it's just, his passwords are always his kryptonite. He always forgets them, so he always has to create a new username and password, or just always change the password. So write it down, put it on a piece of paper, good old-fashioned piece of paper, or of course, if you prefer, put it on a quick Word document, email to yourself, whatever works best for you, especially in this training atmosphere type situation. Alright, so we're going to keep scrolling down. At this point, we're going to go ahead and make sure you click this. You got to click that. It can cause you problems. So we're going to go next. Alright, platform manage, okay, encryption. And at this point, we should be pretty good to go. And actually, let's see here. Networking. Yeah, so look, it's getting all that pre-filled in there for us. This is obviously the private IP address. This is going to be your public. If you want to create a new one, you of course can. I'm just going to let it go pre-filled. There we go. Management. Auto shutdown. All those great things. Advanced. And if you want to keep going down these things, you can. Click on each one. It'll show you some of the things there that you can play with. But for this quick tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and make sure we go next, so that way we can review and create. So it's going through, it's letting us know how much it's about to be. And then of course, once this finishes validating and gives us the official go ahead, boom, validation pass. Now we can go ahead and create. So make sure you click that create button there at the bottom left, or otherwise it won't create it. So like I said, for this lab we have to actually create 2 virtual machines, so let's make the most of our time while it's getting that set up and actually go right back into home, go back into virtual machines again. As you can see, it's starting to do its thing. Let's create that second one. Let's make the most of the time we got. Alright, so we're back at it again. It's going right back into the same resource group. We're just going to go through, follow the same steps. Of course, keep in mind this is the second machine we're doing, so we want to make sure we give this one a different name. So I'm going to go with the VM02. Keep it simple. I love it. Alright, this one, let's switch it up. Let's go with Ubuntu for the Linux situation. Okay, and this one, it changes it to an SSH public key, but let's switch that back over to password and keep it the same. Once again, simplicity. Sometimes less is more. Keep the same password if you like. Once again, this is the training atmosphere, whatever works for you. Alright, let's make sure we keep that the same there, and let us know if it doesn't match, but it does match, so we're good to go once again. Okay, and so we'll click next. Okay, so everything else is looking good here as well. Alright, clicking next. Notice on this networking page how there is VM2 network. Fortunately, went just a little too quick in starting this virtual machine before Microsoft Azure had enough time to finish setting up the virtual network for the first machine. We want both of these to be on the same network. So you see it says VM2 there. So you want to make sure you take your time and let the first machine be created so that way they're both on the same network. And then later on you'll notice that there's 12 records that are created when there should only be 11, but no worries, I addressed it in the next lab as well. The actual virtual machine, you want to go back to the basics, make sure it's in the same region, because maybe you were just trying to move too fast. I'm like, oh, well, let me go ahead and make sure that I click everything I needed to click. Keep scrolling there. Alright. So there we go. There we go. So it looks like here. Inbound port rules. Making sure everything's good. Alright. So now that that's situated, click review and create. Once again, validation passed. So waiting for filled in. It's giving me the go ahead and create button. And it should kick us over to the new screen once it finishes loading the thing in. Keep in mind, sometimes with the cloud, things are always changing. So if for whatever reason, if there's ever an error that you feel like you shouldn't have gotten, you can always go back in and troubleshoot, look things around. I know it's happened to me before, where I just want to create a simple container, and it just wasn't for whatever reason working, and then I just had to go back and delete a couple things and just retry it again, and then it worked. Same exact step, same exact process, just for whatever reason, the first time, I guess it may have got a little corrupted, it just didn't want to work. So just don't get frustrated, keep it cool, go back if you got to redo it a couple of times, do what you need to do to make sure it works correctly. Alright, so we're here, obviously we see it's working. I'm on that process, so at this point we can go back to the home page, see what we got so far. We can go to our resource group here. Alright, so we see the network has been set up, or in this is the resource group everything should be falling into. Alright, beautiful. So it looks like we got an official, our first virtual machine. You can see the type here. The IP address is assigned. We have our firewall. You have the little shield firewall. You make those dots. We got our virtual network interface. We got our hard drive, aka disk. So things are looking pretty. So keep in mind, of course, you can always hit a quick refresh to see if the other computer or other virtual machine is finished being completed, but it can be a little bit of time there. You see things are in progress, they're working, so you may want to just give it a little bit of time. Alright, so I decided to go ahead and speed up the video here just so that way not to waste you guys time. It was taking Microsoft Azure just a little bit of time to set up virtual machines, so sped through it for you guys. For all of them to get up, it looks like deployment succeeded, so resource group was successful. Alright, so it's still successful. We'll go to resources and we'll take a look kind of in there. Alright, this is the second virtual machine that is officially set up. So let's see if we go back, a resource group, so we can see the complete list. Alright, let's set it up. I remember that used to say 1 out of 6, or 1 to 6, now it shows 12. And remember we set up 2 virtual machines, so it should be 12. Alright, it should not be 12 here. It actually should be 11. Once I sorted by type, you should be able to see where it shows 2 virtual networks. It should only be 1. Apologies. The address is officially 2 virtual machines, so 2 networks. So we're able to get that completed. And in the next video, we'll show you how we're able to make sure to get it set up remote desktop and get the virtual machines talking to each other. Thank you very much for watching. And feel free to like, share it, comment, ring the bell for more notifications. Thank you once again. You have a great one.